It's not a bush like a fruit bush. It's not what you think.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's more
asking.
compact though.
Yeah, but you still need a trellis in place.
Was it an absolute requirement? No. Would it have taken over my bed in other places that, I had things planted if I didn't trellis it? Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um but cucumbers are very very similar to squash where you can in fact pre-start those as well. So I just planted my cucumbers maybe a week ago. I was late this year, and I
Mhm.
wasn't really upset about it because I mean they've already got true leaves on them. They grow really fast.
Mhm.
It's one of those, and squash are the same way. You don't want them to sit in the pot for a long time.
No.
You know, you want to get them in and get them out, but you can go ahead and beat that germination time. You know, when we talk about garden, the garden math and garden days and stuff like that, 7 to 10 days is a long time to beat. And I
Yeah, it
mean, if
is.
you wait another week after that and you get your true leaves, you're 14 days, 15, 20 days ahead of schedule. That's a big jump, especially for mid season planting.
It absolutely is. This is where I struggle with how much I focus laser focus on the cool areas that are in the US still compared to areas like yours, young Ben, and others that have been hot for a while. Um, like it's now getting hot in here. Like, that's how it is for Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And some other places in the Midwest. So when I look at something like, and we'll see what comes of it by the time this episode airs. So shout out to anyone that asked me about the melons that I direct sowed in mid-May in the cold of Chicago. We'll see if those things rotted in the ground or if they actually grew. But to basically try to combat the potential fail of that, it's still pretty cold, nights in the 40s, highs in the 50s. Um, I started some indoors from seed, right, to transplant out. So I say that to say, melons are cool because, excuse me, cucumbers are cool because you can um, pop them in, right? I do no less than three if you're going to plant in a space. You could pop them in, and they're either going to produce or they're not. And so June, July, August, you still have some good cucumber growing months left in you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of times what people will do is as soon as their cucumbers get up and running, they'll go ahead and start another one in pots and then
Hmm.
they'll just replace them. So that's
Yeah.
absolutely a good method to do. I think I'm growing what we have in our shop. We have the straight eight cucumbers. So
Hmm.
I put those in this year. I did my I really like growing the Boston pickling cucumbers typically, but for some reason I got really bad germination this year off of them. So I didn't grow those, and I went back, grabbed a pack of our seeds, put them in, and bada bing, they popped. So we're gonna roll with it. I'm not overly picky though. I did the national pickling a couple years, and they just seem really susceptible to the cucumber worm. So we're not gonna do that anymore. But other than that, cucumbers are a really good one, and they can absolutely save you, especially a trellis. I mean, there's not a lot of things you can put on a trellis in the mid season that will come. I mean, we did say bush beans, and I argue that you can even put regular green beans in too, but you've got a longer grow time for regular beans than you do bush beans. So that's why that didn't really make our list very well.
Agreed. All right, so I'm gonna go again because this is me. This is all me. There are heat tolerant greens out there. I don't know if I buy as many lettuces that are advertised as heat tolerant, but there's some heat tolerant greens. And I am going to go out on a limb and say, like, high 80s is the heat I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe occasional low 90s. You do that math for you in your growing area.
I mean,
Um,
what greens are you talking about?
so chard,
And
um, my special nook in the world, I can still do kale. My neighbor has done year over year. Um, I always get them confused. She does turnips. The key, she's growing them for the tops, not for the bottoms.
Right.
And so that means that she is harvesting them when they're really young. So she does like a broad cast of the seeds. They all kind of grow together, really, really close together. And she comes in and pulls as many. And I think she actually pulls them from the root. That's her intention. Gets them cleaned up and cooks them up midsummer. So, and
I
obviously this
just
isn't midsummer, but
so first of all, when it comes to chard, do you really like chard?
I'm learning to like it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
I like it. I'm learning to love it.
I don't grow a garden to force myself to like to eat something. I mean, I got to put it out there. I know there's people out there that like chard. I get it, but and it's always for some reason I'm right there with you, Batavia. I gravitated towards chard in the beginning. It's very eye catching, all that stuff. But when I cooked it's just like I don't know. I come off of a whole winter of eating greens. I feel like the last thing I want is another green to eat. I don't know. It's one of those
I
things.
I two things. I got from a restaurant to go like falafel,
Mm-hmm.
and it said serve with mixed greens. And I thought a salad. I'm like, I got plenty of salad fixings here. But whatever, it came with it. I'm not gonna say omit it. And when I opened the container when I got home, it was like 6 or 7 falafel balls sitting on top of baby greens that were wilted. I imagine that was the design. Like if I would have ate them in the restaurant, that's how it would have been. It's even more wilted because of the steam with the container. And I said, and I tasted it because it wasn't the prettiest thing, but damn, wasn't it good? It was almost like a charred wilted green. And so that's fancy. And it tasted good. And then it reminded me, and we've talked about this recently, that I am letting, especially in the summer, I'm letting chard get too big and too mature.
Yeah.
And so I think there is something to be said. And I'm going to tell you again to try to keep this in mind and then actually practice it. I think a lot of these leafy greens, no matter when I'm growing them, will be better to me if I'm eating them younger.
Well, and I think too that heat tolerant for you is different than heat tolerant for me.
It is.
It's like, I mean, for a green, it's almost like grabbing a candle by just grabbing the flame here. Where there, it's like your hands just, you know how you can put your hand above the flame, be like, oh no, it's too hot.
Yeah, yeah.